You know, like that.
Is that how you really feel?
Yeah, man. Like this, yeah, when you get hit by that fucking sloppy doppy troppy 224 with the E11 carbine and then cap base window force blast, your booty hole back to fucking score two.
You know, we used to have some semblance of what we wanted to do for an intro and some sort of creativity, but I feel like recently we've just been like, "Are you ready to record?" And then Greg's not ready to record, but I hit the
I
button
just puked
anyway.
in my mouth, but I'm ready to record. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean that's a good way to start off an episode.
Yeah, man.
Good stuff. Welcome, 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 friends, family, and clone troopers to the expLOREation podcast. This is Lightning Lore, round 4. Lightning Lore is made for those on the quick commute and need all their good information in under half an hour. So let's
Yep.
get started. Today's topic, Commander Cody. Of course, we're doing a Star Wars topic, right?
Oh yeah.
Because why not? So I want to talk a little bit about his early life on Camino and some of his training. So, Unit CC2224, aka Cody, began his career like any other clone on Camino, created by samples of Django fed and incubated in a glass jar to then start his training. During his live fire exercises, Cody seemed to show independence and a sense of leadership that caught the attention of Caminoans. Thus, he was selected for special training where he met CT-7567. Now, this is also known as Rex, hinting to a future relationship that we'll get into later.
Yep.
They became friends and often fought alongside each other during the training before Cody was moved to the field and placed under the command of General Obi-Wan Kenobi. Several months into the Clone Wars, Cody was pulled from fighting in order to be entered into the ARC Trooper, the ARC Trooper Training Regiment, designed to provoke independent thought amongst enrolled commanders. Because of this training, Cody began to customize his armor with typical ARC Trooper attachments, such as small bullet-shaped jetpacks, a secondary comm antenna, a visor on his helmet, and large shoulder pads and vibroblades. And of course, the orange markings all throughout the armor.
Yeah.
Of the 100 that were entered in this program, Cody was selected by Alpha 17 to be part of Squad 7, an elite group of cross-trained commandos made of the Republic's best snipers, demolition experts, and Marines join alongside ranking Jedi on many missions. Commander Cody and a clone by the name of Oddball were given control over Squad 7, though a clone by the name of Major Joriel handled operations. Greg, talk to me about life as a commander in the clone army.
Sure. So Cody served as the leader slash commander of the 7th Sky Corps. Most notable, this is a detachment of the 212th Attack Battalion. In the early days of the Clone Wars, Cody didn't really participate in the first Battle of Geonosis, but first served under General Windu at the Battle of Score 2, where they recaptured Score from the Separatists. This battle would earn the then Captain Cody a promotion to Marshal Commander. Now, Cody took part in many battles throughout the Clone Wars, but there's a little more notable ones which we're gonna rattle off right now. So the first one was the Battle of Rishi Moon, where Cody and Rex arrived for inspection of a comm station on the Rishi Moon, but were met with droid forces. The two commanders, accompanied by a rookie squad of clones, were able to destroy the all-clear signal on the captured Republic station, which then alerted the Republic and made the Separatists withdraw from the system due to the Republic counterattack. Then the third battle of Camino, here Cody joined many clone ranks and defended their homeworld from a droid invasion. With acts of bravery throughout all the clone ranks and stellar work of guiding troops from Cody and Rex, the clones were able to repel the invasion and save their homeworld.
Awesome. So I'm going to cover the last two. We have the second Battle of Geonosis. Here, Cody, alongside Obi-Wan Skywalker, Kian Mundi, which is weird to see spelled out on the agenda,
Yeah,
and a
right.
full army of clones invaded Geonosis once again to stop newly brought-up droid foundries. Here, the Republic were able to blow up the foundries and kill the Geonosian queen, Karina the Great, putting an end to the separatist operation on the planet.
Yeah, they also neutered the Geonosians so they can't reproduce.
Crazy, crazy, crazy. What's that good quote we like? History is written by the victors.
Yes.
Good stuff. So the next battle, the Battle of Umbara. When Umbara defected to the Separatists, Cody's 212th Battalion and the 501st, led by Rex, fought hard against the Umbara militia to seize the planet. Here, a Jedi general by the name of Krell sabotaged the operation by giving out false information. He stated to the 212th Division that the militia is wearing 501st armor. And he gave the inverse of this information to the 501st, stating that they were wearing 212th armor. This led to heavy losses on both sides since the clones were confused and killing each other. Once both sides figured out what was going on, the clones apprehended and killed Krell, this leading to the loss of Cody's longtime friend, Waxer. So, let's get on to the big one. Everybody knows this one. Order 66, Revenge of the Sith. So, During the Battle of Utapau, Cody was given the order to kill Jedi Obi-Wan Kenobi despite being comrades in arms. Cody reluctantly gave the order to shoot Kenobi with a cannon from an AT-TE, which led to Kenobi falling into the lower parts of the planet. Later, Cody ordered a scouting party to look for the Jedi due to Cody being all too aware of Jedi prowess. Once the sweeping was done, the general was off to pursue the Separatist council who slipped away from Utapau in the confusion of the battles that were fought previously. After the Clone Wars, Cody and other clones were reorganized into the Stormtrooper where Cody witnessed the the decline of Jango Fett clone troopers and the rise of more birth-born humans as enlisted troopers. By the year 1 BBY, Cody was in charge of an Imperial battalion that was stationed in Timira City, one of the cloning facilities located on Camino. In addition to providing security to the facility, he regularly tested his clones with drill exercises, only to be disappointed with the enlisted troopers under his command. They just didn't live up
Nope.
to his expectations. Likewise, the men were not particularly fond of Commander's leadership style. One recruit expressed his disdain for patrol duty to the troopers patrolling Tamira City was not only unnecessary due to Camino's heavily fortified conditions, it was extremely aggravating because of the seemingly endless rain and thunderstorms. In sum, the inhospitable climate conditions of Camino and Cody's bitter attitude produced a significantly low troop morale among the men. Later, later on, during the assault on Camino, where the rebellion made an attempt to destroy the Imperial facilities on Camino, the Imperial garrison in Tamir City was ultimately wiped out, and Vader himself was captured by the Rebel Alliance, thus marking the rebellion's first major victory in the Galactic Civil War and leaving Cody's fate ambiguous. Talk to me about some personality traits of the great commander.
Yeah, man. Let me just. All right.
He
So
needs to
while
organize his notes.
yeah, no, I need to organize my whole head. So while Cody had developed a sense of respect for those who consider him as a friend, like most other clones, his thoroughly ingrained loyalty to the Republic was the dominating trait of his character. Later on in life, Cody became cynical and bitter because of the changes that were introduced by the New Order, i.e., the Empire, specifically by the alterations to the Imperial military. Though a proud veteran of the Clone Wars, Cody felt nothing except contempt for the Stormtrooper Corps. As one of the last remaining clones of Jango Fett, he felt isolated and alone in his hatred for birthborn human recruits who came to dominate the ranks of a military that was once the exclusive province of Fett's progeny. From Cody's point of view, enlisted personnel were inferior soldiers compared to the original clone troopers. He regards the former Grand Army of the Republic as a once truly incredible fighting force. So he resented the reforms which he believed to be responsible for a significant decrease in the combat effectiveness of the Grand Army's imperial successors. Thus, he developed a sense of nostalgia for his past and as a commander of the clone troopers. Enlisted stormtroopers were nothing other than expendable resources to him, pretty much. Furthermore, Cody also felt that his low regard for birthborn troopers would have been shared by his genetic template, Jango Fett. Had he still been alive, ultimately, Cody was convinced that Fett himself would have killed the enlisted troopers if he had lived to see what had become of his legacy. So, what are your thoughts on Cody, man?
Okay, so I first want to start off by saying that Cody was easily one of the more recognizable troops, and obviously that was on purpose because they wanted to develop him or eventually do some sort of spin-off, more lore on Commander Cody, right?
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, I always kind of liked seeing him because he always distinguished himself from the regular troops. And it feels like I'm going around in circles, right? But I think they did a good job with the armor and with kind of his personality traits. And I think it's wild because you suggested this topic this time around, and when we went into it, I was thinking like, yeah, man, Commander Cody, I remember him always being sort of a badass, and he still is. But when we did our research and all this stuff, I was like, man, this guy's kind of crazy because he's clearly all for like genetic cleansing and like superiority and things of that nature.
Yeah.
And it almost puts like a bad taste in my mouth because when I was a kid, I always thought Cody was like this badass. He wasn't my favorite of the four distinguished troopers, but he was definitely up there. And I was like, as I we were conducting our research and reading all this stuff, I was like, man, I kind of don't want to like him anymore. You know what I
Really?
mean?
No, I feel you. Um,
Were you surprised by any of the research we did?
a little bit, yeah, especially his whole disdain for the birthborn humans after joining the Stormtrooper Corps. I think that that trait's shared amongst other commanders of the clones, such as Baraka and Neo. So I mean, I see where he's coming from with that because the Republic Army is like far more superior, in my opinion, than the Stormtrooper Corps. But yeah, I mean, that was pretty intense for me. As far as for me with Cody, I always fell in love with Stormtroopers, and I love his armor, especially the 212th Battalion, that orange, and then in Episode 3 where you see the airborne variant of that, it was
Yeah, that was
phenomenal.
awesome.
But I always like the whole like Republic being loyal to the Republic thing really showed, especially when he executed Order 66 against Kenobi, because it's like, dog, that is General, fucking
Yeah,
Kenobi, bro.
McGregor, Ewan McGregor isn't a pushover,
Yeah, no.
and they were friends. They were good comrades, and simply he did it without hesitation. At the end of the day, is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, I
So
actually read somewhere where he muttered under himself, like to the emperor, like basically stating to the emperor, like you couldn't have fucking done the, you couldn't have done this order without before I gave him his lightsaber, pretty much.
yeah, absolutely insane. And I think he was, I guess some would say that loyalty was his best trait, but I would say that loyalty is his worst trait because he ended up falling in line with whatever the Republic thought was best. And he wasn't, he went to the school of individual thinkers, but he ended up being just like every other clone trooper
Exactly,
commander, which I
exactly.
thought was ironic at the end of the day.
Yeah, especially since later on you figure out that Rex and I believe Wolf and someone else, another commander, actually hated, even though they hated the stormtroopers, like they didn't join their ranks. They pretty much said, like, fuck that, like we're not gonna deal with this. And then Cody's just like, oh, I'm still loyal to the Republic, so I'm gonna still do stormtrooper stuff. And at the end of the day, he got pretty much cocked on Camino, against the rebellion.
It's kind of ironic. His
Yeah,
net velocity was 0 because he ended up dying where he was birthed.
yeah, which is honestly a shame because, like I said, he's one of the more badass commanders out there.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And I love doing these. Well, I don't think Commander Cody's too crazy deep of a dive, but I do think that there are some aspects and facets of this character that are just grossly fascinating and that maybe the general population doesn't know about.
Yeah,
So let us know what you think about Commander Cody. Check us out on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. What else we got? Podbean, Spotify, Apple
Stitcher
Podcasts,
Radio.
Stitcher Radio, Overcast Radio, anywhere podcasts are found.
Yes.
Greg, do that thing I like.
You know what we do? We keep the lore in exploration.
Thank you.
Execute Order 66.